Welcome to the 10 Forward Test Kitchen, a galaxy of food from the final frontier. For our debut episode, we're stepping back in time to the 1960s, specifically the original series. Today, we're making one of the most iconic dishes in all of Star Trek lore, Plomeek Soup.
First Officer's Log, Stardate 5431.4. In the throes of the blood fever, even a Vulcan can lose control. Logic falters, rage simmers, but sometimes all it takes is a bowl of what humans refer to as comfort food to restore balance.
First seen in the 1967 story Amok Time, Nurse Christine Chapel prepares this legendary purple broth for Mr. Spock, who's deep in the grips of Pon Farr, a Vulcan chemical imbalance that strikes every 7 years, driving them to mate or die. Since then, Plomeek has popped up across the franchise. In Enterprise, Plomeek broth was T'Pol's breakfast meal of choice. On Deep Space Nine, Dr. Bashir could often be found with a bowl at the Replimat. In Voyager, Neelix spent years trying to spice it up for the ever-unimpressed Tuvok. And most recently, Strange New Worlds showed a young Christine Chapel attempting the dish for Spock and fiancé Roger Corby with mixed results. Whoa. So what exactly is Plomeek? Canonically, it's a Vulcan root vegetable soup, nutritious, grounding, and traditionally very bland. Not exactly inspiring. So here at the 10 Forward Test Kitchen, we've put together an interpretation that stays true to Star Trek, but also brings out a little more flavour for human taste buds. In a saucepan over medium heat, add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Then toss in half a chopped red onion and 1 cup of chopped celery, about roughly 2 stalks. Saute until the vegetables soften and start changing colour. Now, it may not surprise you to learn that the Vulcan Plomeek root does not exist on Earth, so we're going to improvise to get both that signature purple hue and a really nice flavour. We're combining 1 purple carrot and 1 medium-sized beetroot. Chop them up and add them to the pot. To bring it all together, add 1 cup of vegetable stock. Make this up according to the packaging. For ours, we add a 1/4 teaspoon of powder to 1 cup of boiling water. Bring the saucepan to the boil, then cover and let everything simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes, just until the vegetables are soft enough to poke through with a fork. One of the inspirations behind 10 Forward Test Kitchen has been the official Star Trek cookbooks. One from the 90s, co-written by Neelix himself, Ethan Phillips, and a more recent edition that spans recipes from the original series through to Lower Decks. Now, we could have just recreated these dishes as they were written, but after some road testing, we found that a few of them didn't quite hold up. Some didn't look anything like they appeared on screen, others were far too complicated, and a few just weren't something the average person would actually want to eat. That's why we came up with 3 golden rules for 10 Forward Test Kitchen. Rule 1, it has to at least look like it does in the show. Rule 2, it has to be simple enough for anyone to make. And Rule 3, it has to be something you genuinely want to eat. I'm sure there will be times where we'll have to bend those rules, but for now, we're confident our Plomeek Soup ticks all those boxes. You might have noticed earlier that Plomeek Soup looked quite different throughout Star Trek's history. In the original series, it's purple, and Strange New Worlds paid tribute to that version. In Deep Space Nine, one episode has Dr. Bashir tucking into what looks like a minestrone, while another episode presents it as more like a creamy yellow chicken soup with short, thick noodles. According to the 90s cookbook, with notes from Voyager's prop master Alan Sims, a celery-based soup was used on set, with pureed carrot for colour and squash for texture. Then, in Enterprise, Plomeek was served as a clear brown broth, and according to food stylist Dorothy Dutter, actor Jolene Blalock eventually got so tired of eating it that she politely asked if she could have something else instead. For our version, we've gone back to the original sauce. Once softened, remove from the heat and blend with a stick blender until smooth. If the colour's not vibrant enough for you or it's a wrong shade of purple, add a splash of lemon juice. This will instantly brighten that colour into something worthy of a Vulcan dining table. To finish, add a dollop of coconut cream. Its earthy flavour will pair well with the root vegetables, and garnish with fresh spring onion and oregano leaves. A touch of pepper if you like, and there you have it, the inaugural dish of 10 Forward Test Kitchen, our interpretation of Vulcan Plomeek Soup from Star Trek the original series. It's hearty, colourful, and maybe even capable of calming a Vulcan caught in the fires of Pon Farr. At the very least, it'll soothe your human soul on a cold evening. If you enjoyed the first episode of 10 Forward Test Kitchen, let us know in the comments what Star Trek dishes you'd like to see us tackle next. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out, because we are just getting started on this culinary journey to the final frontier. Until next time.